Good morning, guys. Theo here. Today we are talking about, we'll see what I end up calling this video, but it's about how to be your best friend, your own best friend. And I guess we're gonna talk about the ego some. So let's start with this. The thing that gave me the idea for this video was I get mostly on my channel, it's small enough yet, and niched, the people that catch on, they catch on and like me, so very much mostly likes and positive comments. I expect as the channel grows, I expect more and more people to be upset with me for different reasons. But so I did get one guy that just tried to be nasty, really. Like the first, I don't know why his comment, the YouTube comments, by the way, are so buggy. Some of your comments I can see only in my notifications, and some I can go in when I go into like view comments, but not under the video and stuff. So this guy, 2 comments that didn't really show up under the video but in other places. So the first one was something like, oh look, this guy, he looks like the head of my penis or something because of the the buzz cut, And the second one was really like, it was my video about how women should train to look good and not get too bulky. And I have a picture of me and a girl with her tights and ass there, and he commented like, I see a beautiful girl with a great ass in the thumbnail, but in the video I get only a nerd with glasses or a geek with glasses or something like this. And so it's just trying to be nasty, just really trying to make me feel bad. And it's impossible with these kinds of comments for me to feel bad, because stuff like this probably would have provoked me, maybe upset back in the day. But so I'll tell you why, like, I'm freaking Theo, I am ripped, I am smart, I am charming, I am charismatic, I have changed my life from 0 to hero, I've done this all on my own. How can I care about some anonymous guy being wrong on the internet about me, This is kind of the point. You'll notice very often when I talk about self-image, having confidence, how you view yourself and stuff, it's not only about how to think, techniques for thinking about it. It is that you have to actually be awesome, so you can't deny it. The truth is just staring you in the face about it. So I'll tell you how I learned this for real. Because I always heard, like, you have to change the way you talk to yourself in your head. And I always, when you know some things about you, that maybe you are a degenerate, maybe you do drugs, or maybe you watch a lot of porn, or maybe you party all the time, you sleep away half the day, you just sit inside. When it's nice weather outside, you're just inside watching series, not talking. When you have these truths about you, when this is the truth, it's hard to just change the way you talk to yourself in your head. Come on, you're just a shit idiot, shit doing idiot. But so how I learned this, because you can actively change it too. It just kind of has to happen at the same time as actual change taking place. So if you watch the channel, I started all of this because I was in a fallen state, drank too much, partied too much, tried to look for sex, I watch porn, I eat shit food, I'm lazy, this was me. I hit the wall, started having panic attacks. And it was through the panic attacks, because I beat myself up a lot, why don't I get all the nicest girls, or why do I not know what I want in life, and beat myself up, all of these things. But when I started having panic attacks, they were so brutal, like very much like someone had drugged me and it was a bad trip, but only without any drugs, so it's very scary, and I started being nice to myself right away when this happened. I both gave myself a break by just enjoying being home, putting the phone away, not letting anyone contact me, just playing video games, honestly. Playing video games and watching YouTube, and just having my safe space there. And I knew the communication with myself the whole time was, you can't just do this now. If you just do this now, you'll never get out of this mode. You'll be stuck in your apartment forever, or you'll kill yourself during one of these panic attacks. So I both allowed myself to be weak, to not be at my best. And I did however you say it. I went on sick leave for 50% from my job. And of course I did go half the day, but sometimes I had to go early because I had another panic attack. Of course I felt embarrassed. I hadn't fully arrived where I am today yet, but it was nice to me. I gave myself what I needed the whole time, and this is how I started. So if we fast forward, I confront these panic attacks, it gets better and better. I start training, start eating better, and start noticing just, wow, I cured myself from it. And this is when I really started loving myself, because now for once I didn't just beat myself, I didn't just treat myself like shit, going out and drinking when I really didn't want to. I did so many things that I thought I wanted to or I needed to. Yeah, you need to be alpha, you need to be out drinking and looking for girls to have sex with. And I never listened to what I wanted, I listened to what I was supposed to do, what I thought I needed to do, This was the first time in my life I started listening to me and giving me what I needed. I treated myself like I would have treated a friend that was in a tough spot and needed help. And this is the key. You have to learn this. You and your ego, like, this is just a person you're stuck with. This happens to be the person where you are by the steering wheel, but it's still just another person. You have to treat this person here as you would treat a friend in need, Yes, and you'll notice, so if we talk a little bit about the spiritual awakening, it's a common phase, the alone phase. When you come out of the fallen state, you're going to notice that maybe that you don't want to be alone, but you will feel so much better alone all the time, because you're hanging out with a good friend all the time, not some douchebag that always tells you you're a loser and that you should do better, and why did you do this, why can't you be better, la 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 la. If you start hanging out with a person that always patting you on the back and it's like, yeah, great job, but also very important, say first, the alone phase is a common phase of the spiritual awakening. When you get out of the fallen state, you'll feel a calling to spend time and get to know this person, because you have forgotten this person. You are stuck with an idea of who this person is. The ego's lies is what you've been stuck with. You're starting to recognize yourself, and you'll probably feel a calling to be alone more. And I had something I'd say. Wait, I need to pause for a minute. Oh yes. The thing I wanted to say too is you gotta be careful, because when you start being nice to yourself like this, and maybe you start like me, doing some progress in your life, getting ripped, getting fit, just feeling better and stuff, you might get some hubris at some point. Because this is the thing with the ego, it will not only tell you lies in your head about how bad you are, that you should do better, why did you do that, the ego will too deceive you by telling you too many lies about how great you are. And this is, we'll return to, tell me please, do you want to hear more about the ego? Because no one ever takes the bait with that. I have to kind of fool you, trick you into listening about the ego many times, but it's very, very important. It's the key to everything. Everything I've done is due to me figuring out my ego better and better every day. It's a never-ending journey. You always get better at it. I can still sometimes get stuck in an old ego story or something, but most of the time I watch my thoughts. And you have to learn this. At first it might probably be, that your ego is just so hard on you. It's just a shitty friend, horrible friend that just tells you you're a douche all the time. But then it's gonna be, your ego might turn into like a sidekick that's just a little too gay for you, just cheers you on a bit too much. This happened to me. You might become arrogant and get hubris. You might push, it might be a different thing, not when you choose to be alone, but when you might push people away because you're, a bit full of yourself. I've been through this. Yeah, but so this is really what I wanted to talk about. You see, this guy, Theo, I love him and I love spending time with him. Like, I'm never alone. I have fewer friends nowadays, but it's not that I've lost them. It's that I finally listened to this guy, and this guy realizes that, hey, many people I hung out with were shit, and they were shit for me. They had a bad influence on me, and you'll never feel alone. I remember when I was in the fallen state, often when I had anxiety and stuff, you know, I had to meet other people to distract myself. And do you see how this is not a relationship or being friends? That's being a drug to each other. I never, you know, I like meeting, I do meet people now. Mostly I'm social through my work and like my secondary work, the Uncommon Sense thing. I mostly meet people doing productive stuff, but I do hang out with people sometimes. There are people that I like, but very often I'm you know, happy with me. This is the thing, you can enjoy your own company, and this is when you won't feel so bad all the time, when you aren't always stuck with a shit person just giving you shit all the time. But actually, in my case, I'm working on it. I said it became a little hubris here 1 year ago maybe. I became a little rude, acted in some, you know, still a lot better than I used to be, but this is a warning for me that has gone through it. Now, this guy is so honest with me, like most of the time, like cheers me on when things are going well, but it's like, hey man, what's up now? Like, is this really a good idea? Is it, you know, you can have these kinds of conversations with you, especially when you're this aware of it, when you're aware of that you actually have conversations with yourself, when you realize this, that it isn't only one thing happening. You can actually have this dialogue with yourself, like, hey man, I mean, you know, you're doing great and all, but what was this? Maybe you should think about that. Maybe you should, could you have done that better? You can have this nice, mature relationship to yourself. So I think that's it. Probably a long video, I don't know, because I made 2 separate clips, but I hope you enjoyed this. Please let me know what you think about it, and like, subject about the ego and stuff, related subjects. Do you want to know more? Please tell me, because I think this is super important, but I never get as good of a response on these videos as like, oh, fasting is not for weaklings, you know, which is fun and all, but it's not all I want to teach you about this is very, very, very important. Okay, so guys, closing in on 900, and then finally 1,000, I'll do these things live, and then, you know, then I just talk. You can tell me immediately, live, what you think. Can you talk about this deal? Okay, but thanks guys. I appreciate everything so far. Please keep it up with likes and comments and subscribing. I love you guys. Peace.